My career as a lawyer began basically in my late 20s. I had been a respiratory therapist and had a major career shift in my late 20s. I went back to school to get my bachelor's degree in business administration, solely because I had already been accepted to law school. The career decision was made because I was basically in a nowhere job in respiratory therapy. I liked the law, had always liked the intricacies of reading about cases and that sort of thing. So that led me to law school, and shortly after I got out of law school in 1983, I began in the private practice of law. In 1985, I actually became a prosecutor in Grant County, Kentucky, where I am still located. I did an assistant county attorneys, which means I basically did courtroom work, trial work. In 2003, I was elected to the county attorney's job, where I stayed for 5 years and retired in late 2007. I began my college career at the University of Kentucky. Did not succeed well there, but in 1974, I received an associate's degree in respiratory therapy from Lexington Technical Institute. I continued in evening classes thereafter, mostly at Northern Kentucky University. In 1980, I received my bachelor's degree in business administration from Northern Kentucky University and immediately started in law school at Chase College of Law, where I graduated in 1983. From that point on, I was a career prosecutor, basically. I've always considered conflict management part of my job, and I've always thought effective conflict management is defined by achieving an acceptable resolution between two or more opposing viewpoints or opinions. I believe being an effective conflict resolution manager, if you will, which I think I've had considerable experience, is to allow people to have a voice, not become personally involved in the conflict, and recognizing the seriousness or the lack of seriousness of the conflict. Don't take sides with people, and try to reach a consensus between the conflicting parties. I think a good conflict management style is to believe that there's always a resolution. I know that's an idealistic point of view, as that sometimes you just cannot achieve those resolutions, but I think if you're going to be a good leader, you have to actually believe that you can get such a resolution. My personal philosophy is always been kind of straight up. You got to confront the conflict straight up, recognize it, try not to sidestep it. If you sidestep it or ignore it, I think you exacerbate the problem. Sometimes I think the best management style is to let people alone if it's not interrupting productivity or the working unit of people, so to speak. Sometimes little problems are best left alone instead of trying to involve yourself in them, and that can make things worse as well. Conflict resolution did not come to me naturally. When I began my career as a prosecutor, I had to often daily deal with adversarial positions. Being a young lawyer, I almost had that synonymous. Conflict was confrontational, and I learned over the years that being adversarial does not necessarily mean that I have to be confrontational. I did learn that even as a prosecutor, giving defendants' lawyers a voice, most of all leaving them with their dignity, allowed a proper resolution, even if it meant punishment according to the laws I was trying to enforce. It took me probably 10 or 15 years to acquire that experience, but it certainly was beneficial and a lot more productive in performing my job.